It's my class, so we get to do what I want, and I want to pray, so we're going to pray. Good morning, Father. Yah, you are awesome. Father, thank you for bringing all these people here to learn how to save lives here on earth. Father, be it your will, I pray that we never have to actually use these skills. But Father, if we do, I pray that you're right there with us, allowing us to buy some time for people. But above all, Father, let your will be done. Keep us safe today. Let us see what we need to see and hear what we need to hear. Let this be an awesome time of teaching and fellowship. I ask you to bless it in Yeshua's name. Amen. All right, welcome to the impromptu Stop the Bleed class at Mountain Readiness Fallout 2023. Come on in. Come on in. All right. Stop the Bleed is a registered trademark, first coined by the American College of Surgeons. It is a free protocol that is distributed and taught all across North America and in other parts of the country as well. To the extent that this is a Stop the Bleed class, we're going to talk about tourniquets, wound packing, pressure bandages. We're going to talk about way more than that as well. So this is not an officially sanctioned Stop the Bleed class. I'm going to teach you bleeding control. Everybody tracking on that? Okay, use your voices, all right? Otherwise, I'm gonna fall asleep. It's gonna be a really boring class, all right? All right, TLOs, terminal learning objectives of this class. You are going to learn how to identify and control a critical bleed, okay? Identify and control a critical bleed. What is a critical bleed? We got one more chair up here if you want it, sister. Two more chairs up here. And there's a third chair right here. You guys can figure it out if you want. You can pull that chair back there, whatever you're into. What is a critical bleed? A bleed that can kill someone. Okay, where does that bleed come from? Arterial bleeding. What does arterial bleeding look like? Spurting. Yep. No, the red and blue is just used for anatomy sketches that get put up on a wall. It's like a send and receive.
I'm saying, isn't the blood a different color?
It depends. You don't. We're looking for volume. A lot of blood. There are children in the room, so I'm going to do my best to police my language, which will be challenging. But it is, oh crap, bleeding. Large volumes of blood. Okay? Quick exercise. Make a fist. Stick that fist out in front of you. Stick your thumb up. Look at your thumb. See how big around your thumb is? That is the diameter of your femoral artery. See that? It's a garden hose. It's considerable, right? So veins are little itty bitty tiny blood vessels that run throughout our body. Arteries are highways, okay? So veins are very similar to like surface roads, backcountry roads, all that. Arteries are the interstates. You break one of those, you cut one of those, you have arterial bleeding. Because of the volume of blood that it moves, you can bleed out really fast. It takes about 90 seconds on a femoral bleed for you to lose 50% of your blood volume. If you're writing notes, write that down. 90 seconds on a femoral bleed, F-E-M-O-R-A-L, to lose 50% of your blood volume. Tracking? Correct, good math. 180 seconds to lose it all. How long is 180 seconds, young man? 3 minutes. Where's the tourniquets at? What if they're in the truck? Or they're in the first aid kit in the office and I'm in the warehouse on the back lot? Or I'm the guy in the dozer over here and yeah, we got one in the work trailer.
Should be in your pocket.
Should be in your pocket, exactly. Tourniquets are our #1 tool that we use for treating arterial bleeding in the extremities, okay? You young man, come here, stand up. You're young and fit and right there. Face them. Do the Vitruvian man. You familiar with that? Okay. So, these are your extremities, arms and legs. In case anybody was wondering, what does that mean? Arms and legs, these are your extremities. Because the Father's awesome, the way he designed us, Exodus 15:3, Yahweh is a warrior, Yahweh is his name, and we're made in his image. Your arteries run on the inside of your bone structure, Vitruvian man. In here and inside the leg, which means if we're getting into a sword fight and I slash the outside of your arm, no arterial bleeding. Pretty cool, right? Almost like there's some intelligent design or something. Extremities are here. This is where we use tourniquets. Junctional areas, ball joints, shoulders and hips. We can't put a tourniquet on a junctional area or a ball joint because as it moves, the tourniquet will loosen. When the tourniquet loosens, we lose the compression on the bleeding artery, the bleeding vessel, and now I'm dying again. So in junctional areas, which will be your shoulders, your neck, pelvic girdle, and your rear end, that's where we're going to wound pack. See the delineation here? So from just beyond the ball joint out, that's tourniquets. Ball joint in, pressure bandages, wound packing. What's your name?
Austin.
Austin. Cool. Go ahead and have a seat. Tracking on that? All right. Also, this was a completely impromptu class that I was asked to do at the last minute, so I have no curriculum, no notes, no handouts, no trainer kits, but we're going to improvise, adapt, overcome. All right? So TLO is to identify and treat critical bleeding. When you lose 50% of your blood volume, do you know what happens? You pass out. If I'm passed out, what's the likelihood that I can render self-aid? 0. So if I can't render self-aid, I've bled enough that I passed out, what's the likelihood that I survive? Pretty low, right? Unless, a good Samaritan comes by and goes, oh crap, and fixes me, I'm basically a goner. Another thing to understand, there are 3 stages of shock. And this isn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, right? This is, shock is a medical term, okay? So it's called hypovolemic shock. Hypo means less than, volemic means volume, shock means, oh crap, things are bad. Tracking? So I don't have enough blood shock. There's 3 stages. There's compensatory, this is the first stage. At about 1.5 liters of blood loss, you begin compensatory shock. What that means is your blood starts going from your extremities back towards your core, because I don't need blood in my arms if I don't have any blood in my brain, my kidneys, my liver. Okay? At 2 liters, so 1/2 liter later, at 2 liters, you begin what's called a decompensatory shock. Your respiratory rate will go up way higher.
What was that again?
Decompensatory shock. Your respiratory rate will go up considerably. The reason for that is that blood is an oxygen delivery system. All right, that's what blood does. It does a few other things, but for the purposes of this class, blood moves oxygen around the body. So because I have a lower volume of blood, the sympathetic nervous system kicks in and makes my lungs go in and out faster to try and hyperoxygenate the blood that I have. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to talk over the top of anybody's head, so if you have questions, please just raise your hand, okay? So decompensatory shock. This is the beginning of, I could die from this, okay? At 2.5 liters, we begin what's called irreversible hypovolemic shock. What do you think irreversible means? You're a goner. 2.5 liters. The average human being, adult, average, has 5 liters of blood in their body. Bigger people have more, smaller people have less. These kiddos do not have 5 liters. There's an equation that's beyond the scope of this class that is kilograms of body mass to milliliters of blood. Suffice it to say, the average American adult has approximately 5 liters of blood. I'm a bigger guy, I've got 6.5. I know because I've lost 5 of them before. Yeah, it's a miracle I'm alive. Praise Yah. Okay?
So you got compensatory, decompensatory, and irreversible what?
hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic. Hypovolemic. Come on in. Wherever you can get in where you fit in. All right, so those are the 3 stages of hypovolemic shock, okay? Compensatory, decompensatory, irreversible. The reason that's important is once you begin irreversible hypovolemic shock, you've lost 50% of your blood. Statistically, if I took Austin and in a controlled environment, I got an ambulance right here, I laid his leg open, and I severed his femoral artery. I let him bleed for 90 seconds. Patch him up, put him in the ambulance. The ambulance flies him or drives him to a helicopter that flies him to a level 1 trauma center where a surgeon is on standby ready to receive him. He has a 50-50 chance of survival. Okay? That's why this is important. It's not because I got a cool guy kit and a rifle and I'm gonna go fight the government and I might need a tourniquet in case I get shot at. Who here drove here? Statistically, the most dangerous thing you do as an American is drive. Statistically, the #1 preventable cause of death in the United States, it's not COVID, it's not heart disease, it's not obesity, it's uncontrolled bleeding.
I thought it was Democrats.
I will comment on that after the class. Okay? Uncontrolled bleeding, which is why this stuff's important. So do you understand the reasons why we're doing this? You got a little bit of science here. So, this is a liter of blood, okay? I want to show you something because a picture says 1,000 words. This is 1 liter of blood. You watching? Because I can only do this once. I only got 2 water bottles. If I lose that much blood, am I gonna die? No.
Not yet.
That's how much blood I give when I donate blood. Okay? So the effects of this, you're gonna feel a little woozy. You might need a cookie and some orange juice. The reason I show you that is so that you can get an idea of what does it look like. That's a liter of blood. That's a lot of blood, especially when it comes out that fast. We can fix that. It's well within our ability to fix that. I can do that again. 2 liters of blood down, I'm now at the beginning of decompensatory hypovolemic shock. I can fix that. Still a chance of survival on that, okay? Tracking?
Yeah.
All right. If you got a tourniquet, get it out. If you don't got a tourniquet, make a friend and find one. Okay, T. All right, good talk, everybody. Who does not have a tourniquet? I got you, bro. Ready? Good save. So again, this class was not planned, but we're gonna make some lemonade out of these lemons. Everybody got a tourniquet?
Yeah.
You should have either a Cat Gen 7 or a Soft T tourniquet. You need one?
Well, I mean,
Jeez Louise, Austin.
you gave Austin's to the back of the room
No, Austin gave it to me.
to give away.
So listen, chain of custody, I can do whatever the hell I want to with it now. All right, Kermode's got you. There you go. All right. There are 2 Committee on TCCC recommended windlass tourniquets that I recommend. Which begs the question, what the hell is the Committee on TCCC? Or as it's known in the industry, COTC. The Committee on TCCC is the Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care. Okay? COTC, the Committee on TCCC, for the last 22, 23 years, has been compiling data, wartime data, from the global war on terror and other conflicts, about the efficacy of multiple means of trauma medicine intervention, including windlass tourniquets. Okay? So we know the CAT Gen 7 has been used 19,000 times in combat. It works. The Soft T, which is this one, has been used more than 12,000 times in combat. It works. There are many, many other types of tourniquets, many other brands of tourniquets. I don't care where you buy a good tourniquet from, but buy a good tourniquet. There was a company that used to be called Recon Medical. Okay, this is being recorded, so I gotta be careful what I say. That company no longer exists. They no longer exist for reasons. Tracking? Their previous inventory was then converted over, rebranded into what is now called Rhino Rescue. It's the same product from the company that no longer exists. Tracking? If you go on Amazon and buy 5 tourniquets for $14, you didn't buy tourniquets, you bought toys, okay? These are about 30 bucks. Anybody here ever bought flowers for a funeral? I have. Cost more than 30 bucks, right? And if it's somebody I love, right? The Good Samaritan stuff is awesome. But if it's somebody that I love, I'm gonna spend 30 bucks to make sure I have the best chance of keeping them around, rather than, well, I saved $19 on a tourniquet. Yeah, but my wife's dead. What's more valuable to me? An extra 20 bucks? Or my wife, my kids, my brothers, my sisters, the people that I love, okay? So if you know anything about me, you know I'm about the preservation of life. This is the main tool we're going to use to stop the bleed for the preservation of life. Sir?
So you said the Soft T, and what was the other one?
Soft T and the CAT Gen 7, which is this one right here. Yeah, very close to this one. All right, so a committee on TCCC recommended windlass tourniquet. They're going to have some commonalities amongst them. The first is that this band here is going to be 1.5 inches wide. That's important. The reason it's important is we're spreading out the pressure that this is going to apply over 1.5 inches minimum. Anything more narrow than that will cause nerve damage. Okay? We don't want to cause nerve damage. Son, why? Because the amount of pressure, the wider I make this, the lower the pressure per square inch, right? The more narrow I make it, the higher the pressure per square inch. So there's a threshold for pressure per square inch that can cause injury. So by having it a minimum of 1.5 inches wide, I have enough force to pinch the bleeding vessel off without meeting that threshold to cause injury. Make sense? Great question. Okay, so it will be at least 1.5 inches wide. There are things on the market that, there was a company called Rats that made the Rats tourniquet. That company no longer exists for reasons. They now make what's called the Rapids tourniquet that is the same thing. I avoid that tourniquet. It's not a tourniquet, but I avoid that tourniquet for reasons. If you need a bungee cord, stop at a truck stop and buy a 12-pack of them, okay? They cause, and this is anecdotal data from our training division, which has trained more than 3,500 people in the last 3 years, they cause nerve damage. One of our role players, JT, had a, what's that thing called? The Rapids tourniquet applied to him by a student. It was on for less than 20 minutes. He lost the function of his left arm for 6 weeks. He's had thousands of these put on him. Never had an issue. So I can tell you, anecdotally, you want a CAT or a Soft T, okay? All right. How does this work? Does anybody know? Like the methodology, what is it doing? That's exactly right. Compresses the artery against the bone. And because Yah's awesome, he put our arteries where? Underneath, so we can't get killed in a sword fight. Unless we get run through, which is a whole nother story. Sir.
Sir, is there a preference where you want your windlass on top or on the
Yes,
side?
we're going to get to that in a minute, and you're already wrong, which we're going to talk about in a minute. All right, but this is how we learn, right? This is how we learn. So, and I'm trying to breeze through this because we only have so much time. Good, we've only taken 15 minutes so far. All right, so we're going to identify and stop critical bleeds. Critical bleeds are oh shit bleeding. You didn't hear that? And it's a high volume of blood. We lose half our volume of blood. I got a 50-50 chance of survival in the best of conditions, okay? We're all here because we're into preparedness, right? What do you think the likelihood is that the ICU's open when the world ends? It's closed when the tornado shows up. It ain't gonna be there if the grid goes down. Ask me how I know, okay? So we are the first and last line of defense. So the more medical knowledge that we can onboard and then disperse out to our people, the better. Now, what's better? Treating an arterial bleed or never getting an arterial bleed to begin with? The latter, okay? How many people here carry a gun? I love us. Okay. How many people here carry a tourniquet every day? Good. The rest of y'all, you need to fix yourselves, okay? This one lives in my pocket. It lives in my pocket. Statistically, I am more likely to need this than I am to need that, okay? Statistically. Now, if I need a gun, it's because I have an immediate problem that needs to be solved immediately. This is your everyday carry pistol of medical stuff, okay? Solves immediate problems immediately. All right, so everybody has a tourniquet?
Yes, sir.
Everybody has a tourniquet.
Yes, sir.
Shot in the left arm, go! Go! After you get it on, raise your hand.
Pull.
20 seconds. Keep your hand up once you got it on. 30 seconds.
Pull it around. Right. And then I think we gotta pull this up.
45 seconds.
And then we gotta twist it. Twist it, bud. Keep twisting. Good job. Keep twisting. As high as you can.
1 minute.
Is that good? Yeah. You got it? All right, let go.
Okay. Everybody up? 70 seconds. 1 minute. Do not take them off. Got it? Okay, put your hands down. Keep them on. First thing, tourniquets hurt. If they don't hurt, you didn't do it right. One of our head instructors is a guy named Eric, who's a SWAT medic, combat medic, firefighter, started his career as an EMT, moved to paramedic, moved to TAC-P, just absolute badass. Has trained more than 70,000 people in the state of Arkansas, was essential in getting Stop the Bleed required to graduate from high school in the state of Arkansas. He has a slide that he uses when he teaches that shows an image of a guy who wrecked his motorcycle, smashed his motorcycle into a guardrail at about 88 miles an hour, and ceased to have a left leg. You ever seen one of those 20-pound logs of ground beef at Walmart? That was his left leg. And so Eric put a tourniquet on him. The guy was screaming and begging, please take the tourniquet off. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. Yeah, buddy. But do you want to die? So, first things first, I'm going to demonstrate for you how to actually put a tourniquet on. Don't take it off, bro. We're not done yet.
Be turning blue by now.
Yeah, this is nothing. Come to Responder 3. We shoot at each other with these things on for hours. Okay? You trust me. I have put one of these on more than 5,000 times. 2 legs, 2 arms, everything works, okay? The way you put a tourniquet on properly, and I'll demonstrate on my left arm, is what we call the rule of thumb. You put your thumb on the C-clip up here. The reason for that is now, do not take them off. We're gonna do it again the right way, okay? But pain is a reinforcing factor in learning. Tracking? Now see where the tail of the tourniquet is? It's pointed towards my center line. So I can pull towards me rather than try to push. You can pull towards you better than you can push away from you. The way that this works is by constricting the band, which constricts the bleeding vessel against the bone structure. So when I wrap this the first time, I want to get it tight. If you don't get it tight, you're going to have to spin this windlass even more times. It's going to hurt even more. I'm already getting constriction on my artery in my arm just from that. Now that it's here, I'm going to take this windlass, I'm going to turn it, 1 turn past bad words, okay? So when you want to start saying bad words, it's another turn past that, okay? Tracking? Then I'm going to take the tail, go in between the C-clip like that, and put the time tab over the top. The reason I'm doing this is this allows me to secure the tail. If this tail comes loose, I've lost compression, I'm now bleeding again. How could this tail come loose? Caught on something, pulled on something. How could it get caught on something or pulled on something? If I put a tourniquet on you, there is a 100 out of 100 chance I am moving you because something bad just happened here. It's a basic rule of TCCC. We have care under fire, tactical field care, then CASEVAC or medevac. Care under fire, something bad just happened. Bad guys are shooting at us, vehicles just smashed into each other, the track hoe just flipped over and landed on the house, okay? That's the immediate threat. Well, there's a statistical chance better than 0 that something bad is gonna happen here, so we're gonna get off the X. I am always going to move somebody after I put a tourniquet on them, always. So if this gets caught on something and ripped off, they're bleeding again. Tracking? Okay. Notice that I kept the windlass in my workspace. It's not on the back over here. It's not underneath where I can't get to it. It's in my workspace. Got it? Anybody here an EMT or a nurse or a doctor? Okay, so you know how to take a pulse? Exactly. You should not have a pulse after you put a tourniquet on. Pulse is indicative of the blood flowing, okay? So we're all gonna learn how to take a pulse here. The arm that has a tourniquet on it. Right here, you got a bone. The name of the bone and why it's there doesn't matter. It's beyond the scope of this course. We only got 2 hours today, all right? Right here, you got a bone. Take these 2 fingers, not your thumb, because your thumb has its own pulse. You're gonna get bad data if you use your thumb, because you'll feel your pulse, not their pulse. Tracking? Yep. 2 fingers, find the bone, roll down, and you'll feel a soft spot underneath the bone. Press. Press down on it. If you feel a thud, 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 you have a pulse, which means your tourniquet is not tight enough. If you don't feel a thud, 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 thud,
Should I tighten it?
hold on.
Okay.
You got a pulse?
Yeah, I do.
Nobody jack with their tourniquets. Leave them just the way that they are, okay? If you have a pulse right now, congratulations, you're dead. Okay? Who has a pulse? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 50% of y'all. That's good. That gives us a baseline. By the time we're done here, 100% of y'all will survive. Tracking? Okay. Now, let me see your tourniquet. Backwards, tail not policed, not tight enough. Let me see yours. Tail not policed, backwards. Not tucked. Too low. We're going to talk about that again in a minute.
He's kind of short.
Right. But so here's the thing. This is not me pissing in everybody's Cheerios. Okay? We're learning. Okay? You're okay, buddy. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in like 2 minutes. All right?
We're doing good.
Too low, tail not policed. What about you?
didn't have one.
You didn't have one. All right. Tail not policed. Backwards. Pretty damn good. Good job. Not a real tourniquet. Not a real tourniquet. Pretty good. Almost. Tail not policed. Let me see. Good. Sketchy. Backwards. Tail not policed. Yeah, pretty good. Let me see. Too low. Backwards. You did good. Good job. Who else? Pretty good. You serve? No? That's a thing. The military loves to teach that wrap around the stick thing. That looks good. You're backwards. You look good. You have a pulse? Yeah, you nailed it. Good job. You look good too. Did you have a pulse? You did good.
Some loser on the internet taught me.
How'd you do? You got dizzy. Okay. Are you okay now?
Fine.
Have you had anything to eat this morning?
Not enough, probably.
Okay. Have you drank water?
Yes.
No, yes? Have a snack, drink a bottle of water. Okay?
I'm fine, thank you, though.
We should probably go here. If you have an actual medical emergency, freaking say something. Okay? All right. We have had, believe it or not, plenty of people fall out in class. And we don't have the slides today because the slides are not intentionally gory, but they show modalities of injury which are gory. I've had nurses, I've had doctors fall out of their chair. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? They're like, well, they don't look like that when they get to me. All right. Well, that's what they look like out here in the real world. All right. Take your tourniquet off. Oh, up. I was wrong. Hold. Capillary refill. So, we checked for a pulse, right? Same arm as your tourniquet. Press down on your fingernail. Press down on it and let go. So it should go from pinkish red to white and then take a long time to go back to pinkish red again. Okay? That's called capillary refill. If it instantly goes back to red, we haven't included the flow of blood. Tracking? That's a very easy test you can use in the field to check somebody's circulation. Capillary refill. All right, now take your tourniquets off. Do one of these with your hand. Thank God that you got blood flow in your arm again. And now we're going to restage. Okay? So, make your tourniquet look like this. Take it out of the buckle at the bottom. Make it look like this. Okay? Take the windlass out like so. We're going to grab the buckle. We're going to grab the end. We're going to stretch, and you'll feel it lengthen back out again. Did you feel it?
Yep.
All right. Cool. This is like a Cat Gen 5. Yep, there we go. It's stretched. I got it. No problem. No, there's nothing wrong with the older generation Cat tourniquets. It's just as far as what is currently recommended by Committee on TCCC. Nice shirt, by the way, Mr. Unafraid guy. Like it. What's currently recommended by the Committee on TCCC is the Cat Gen 6 or the Cat Gen 7 because that's what's in service right now. And so Cat Resources that produces this tourniquet only makes another iteration if they have actual improvements to make. They're not like Ford or Chevy that comes out with a new model each year just because. They only issue a new generation of tourniquet if they can improve on the last one. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we stretched our tourniquets out, right? Take your tail or the tip of your tail and go back through the buckle. So it should look like that now. You're gonna pull out about 8 inches. I'm gonna refrain from making the jokes that we usually make because there's children in the room. But it's more than you think it is. Okay? You're gonna pull out about 8 inches. Take the tip of the tourniquet and fold it over. Okay, so that it looks like that. And then fold this down on itself. So it looks like that. Okay? Everybody tracking on that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next, your time tab here. You'll see a lot of people store these with the time tab across like that. Don't do that. That's one more step that I gotta undo if I have to apply this tourniquet. So don't store it like that. Take this off. Don't store it like that either, because this requires fine motor skills to get off. Store it at a 45-degree angle like that. Okay? I now no longer need fine motor skills to grab this because I've got a pull tab that I made. Just like this pull tab that I made down here. Tracking?
Yes, sir.
Because if you've just been shot, stabbed, blown up in a car wreck, fallen down the stairs, helicopter accidentally landed on your face, whatever, your fine motor skills are gonna go away. I hate it when that happens, right? It's the worst. Try to avoid that at all costs. Okay? So we now no longer need fine motor skills to make this thing work. Tracking?
Yes.
All right. Now, this is the buckle, okay? What we're gonna do, and we'll do this several times, and I'll come around and I'll check your tourniquets because for some reason, this is always where the train comes off the tracks. I don't know why. There's 2 ways you can store a cat tourniquet. I'm gonna show you the preferred method for self-use. Fold up at the buckle, okay? Now I should have this smooth stuff behind the body of the tourniquet and a loop up top. See that? Got it? Okay. Then fold down at the top like so. The reason for that is this hook and loop won't stick to this smooth nylon. So if I have to pull this out of a pouch, out of a tourniquet holder, or out of a pocket or whatever, I pull it out and I've already got a loop ready to go, ready to put it on. Got it? There you go. Now, if I've got like a mass casualty kit, combat lifesaver kit, stomp bag, a large kit full of equipment that we're gonna go to like a mass cas incident where the school marching band bus rolled down the hill off the highway and there's 87 casualties and trombones everywhere, and I've got this bag full of tourniquets, the way I'm gonna store them for that is the opposite. I'm gonna fold down at the top plate, I'm gonna fold up at the buckle so that it sticks to itself now. The reason I'm gonna store them that way is because I'm using this on somebody else, and now the Velcro, the hook and loop, isn't sticking to everything else inside of my bag. Does that make sense? Yep. So there's 2 key differences there. On a mass cas kit or a kit I'm gonna use on somebody else, I store them like that so that they're stuck together. The problem with this is for self-care, it takes more time. So for self-care, we fold up at the buckle, down at the top of the C-clip like so. And if I need it, boom, it's ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Questions on that? Yes. Yes, that's right. That is correct. You got a soft T.
I don't even know what happened here.
So the cool news is you now have training tourniquets. Okay? So this is a judgment-free zone. Don't worry about it.
You were bringing stuff.
Yeah, so this is not a sales pitch, but at the blue booth over there, at the blue tent, Fo, our sales guy is over there. We brought some stuff. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a war in Ukraine, and there's a war in Israel, and the Department of Defense is buying stuff like it's their job, because it is. And this whole little China-Taiwan thing. So medical supplies have been incredibly hard to get in the last 18 months, and they got even harder to get about 14 days ago when Hamas attacked Israel. So we brought what we could, and it's over there in that blue tent. If you want stuff, go get stuff. That's the last I'm gonna say about it, because I'm doing this because I want you to not die, not because I want to sell you stuff. Everybody tracking?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see. Yep, all you gotta do from here is fold down like that, and you're good to go.
What even happened here?
You went the opposite direction, son. Okay, so you fold up at the buckle, like that, and then down at the top plate. Okay? Let's see. You went around the front. So go around the back like that, and then down like that. Cool?
I'm stuck.
Yep, you got it. It's okay. It's okay.
Can't help it, it's born backwards.
So up at the buckle, and see how we have the smooth nylon here, and then down over the smooth nylon, just like that. And then the windlass, that stick is called a windlass. Just tuck it inside of the C-clamp. You went around the front. That's okay. Okay. Up at the buckle, down at the C-clip. Ta-da! Yes. Yes. How you feeling?
Better.
Better. Awesome. Who else? Yes. 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 Sorry. Yes. Good. You got a soft tee. Soft tees are way easier. Good job. Way to go. Yes. Except you're holding it upside down. This is the top side.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Almost.
Almost.
You got the buckle folded under, but other than that, you were correct. There you go. Yes. You're dying. Well, it's okay. We're going to fix you. Yes. All right. So I'm going to do it again with you. Okay? So this is the state. You got it upside down, sir. There you go. All right. Yep. So bring the tip through. Go through the bottom buckle. There you go. Pull out about 8 to 10 inches. More than that. There you go. All right. Fold this under like so. Okay. There you go. Then stick this onto itself. Okay. Now. Yep. There you go. Yep. That's all you got to do is just stick it to itself. Yep. Now. Here's the buckle. We're going to hinge up at the buckle like that. Yep. Bring it up. Bring it up. There you go. Take your hand out of there and grab a hold of it.
Put it all in your left hand.
Nope, don't come around the front. Now fold it back on top of itself. Back that way. There you go. There you go. Okay.
That training incident at home, and ever since then, it's a little shifty to undo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You are.
Just scrap that one and order a new one.
You need to get a cat tourniquet. Yeah. So this is a good teachable moment. This is the TX2, okay? This tourniquet here is the TX2. There are multiple styles of ratchet tourniquets on the market. Do you know where this came from? Because early on in combat, guys didn't have tourniquets, and they figured out real quick a ratchet strap works great. Now, you might be somewhere where there's no tourniquet, but there's a ratchet strap, okay? Ratchet strap works great. I know, right? That painful face you're making, owie. You want an owie or you want to die? Okay? I'll take the temporary owie over the permanent death. So that's where conceptually this came from. It's just a ratchet strap. The problem with it is that they can be prone to failure. Now, we should probably also touch on this. We put tourniquets on, okay? We don't take them off. Right now, rule of law, we elevate to a higher level of care. When they get to the hospital, a doctor, surgeon, whoever, nurse practitioner will take a set of shears and cut that tourniquet off in a controlled environment. There is a thing called tourniquet conversion. You may have heard of that. Anybody here ever heard of tourniquet conversion? It means at what point can I take this tourniquet off and convert to a pressure bandage? Let's see, nobody here has funny letters after their name, so I will skim the wave tops on this. Tourniquet conversion. In between 2 to 4 hours that the tourniquet has been applied. Not before 2 hours and not after 4 hours. So there's a window here, 2 to 4 hours. If I have a wound on my arm and I put a tourniquet on, I'm going to go ahead, pack that wound, apply a pressure bandage. Okay, so I've now got that wound covered. It's good to go. And if I think I can get away with taking this tourniquet off, I'm going to put another tourniquet right next to the one I already have applied, staged, ready to go, in case the one I'm about to take off fails as a safety. And I'm going to slowly undo the windlass a half a turn at a time and observe. If I see bleeding coming out, profuse bleeding coming out from my wound packing, I can't convert, okay? I got to keep the tourniquet on. But if I slowly, over a matter of minutes, taking that first tourniquet off, some seepage is okay, but no flowing blood. If it'll hold, good, awesome, I can take this tourniquet off. If it won't hold, I've got that second tourniquet, go ahead and crank that one down. That's tourniquet conversion in a nutshell. Not really recommended for us, but who knows? If the balloon goes up and it's you and 3 people that you love trying to figure out how to survive the end of the world, tourniquet conversion is a thing. The biggest thing is don't immediately release all the pressure on the tourniquet. You do it slowly, and you have a second tourniquet there as a backup. If I see any indication that the wound packing and the pressure bandage isn't holding, I can go back with the second tourniquet. Tracking?
Yes, sir.
How long can tourniquets be left on for?
2 6 hours.
Go, hit me. Everybody's afraid of being wrong. Welcome to class. You're gonna be wrong. That's how you learn. What do you got? 2 to 4 hours. 2, 5, 6 to 8. Who said 24 plus? The longest application of a CAT tourniquet was 18 hours from Afghanistan to Germany. No one, not one person, has lost a limb due to the application of a tourniquet. I will repeat that. No one has lost a limb due to the application of a tourniquet. They have lost limbs because of the injury that they sustained that required the tourniquet. If your left leg gets blown off, you need a tourniquet. Is it the tourniquet's fault you don't have a left leg anymore? It is not. So the old nomenclature, the old teaching used to be life over limb for tourniquets. You'll save the life, but you'll lose the limb. We know, thanks to the Committee on TCCC and the Global War on Terror and all that data we collected, that's not the case. It's old doctrine, it's bad doctrine. If anybody ever tells you life over limb, they haven't trained in 22 years, okay? And medicine is the type of thing that is being updated regularly. I'm gonna break this if I try and fix it. So we gotta get you a real one. All right, so we can leave tourniquets on for a really long time, especially if we are going to elevate to a higher level of care. In rule of law, we put tourniquets on, we don't take them off. Tracking? What do you got, Kermode?
So if we do have to do, just say the balloon went up and we have to do a conversion, do we want to place it above if we have the room? If we don't have room above the tourniquet that's already on there, can we put it below and get it?
You can put it below. You want to leave a minimum of 1.5 inches in between the first tourniquet and the second tourniquet. Otherwise, you can get what's called compartment syndrome. It's bad. We don't have time to go into it today. It's bad, okay? It'll look like black and blue subcutaneous bruising and pooling of blood. Bad. All right. So, half of us died the first time around. We all staged our tourniquets, other than this nice lady over here who's got a busted one. So now you have a real one. You're welcome. Hey look, a bear fact. I bet you guys never seen one of these before. Ta-da!
Oh, my other question was, is this better? I pulled it out further. That would sit better on my arm, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter on the soft tee like that, however you want to.
I had it so high I couldn't get it in the thing.
So when you get a kit from Refuge Medical, I don't know about anybody else. I haven't bought anybody else's first aid kit in a long time. When you get a kit from Refuge, your tourniquet's going to come wrapped in plastic and packaged like this. You want to take it out and stage it the way I just showed you, okay? So that when I need it, it's ready to go. Fold that tab over, like so. Move the time tab, windlass in the C-clip. So that if I need this, because I'm only diving into this kit in an emergency, right? If it's an emergency and I think I need a tourniquet, I don't have a whole hell of a lot of time, right? So stage your tourniquet, save yourself a little bit of time. Everybody has a tourniquet, right?
Yes, sir.
It's staged and ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna do this again and I'm gonna talk you through it about the right way to do it. Tracking?
Yes.
All right, awesome. Rule of thumb, okay? This is the C-clip. I'm always going to hold this with my thumb on the C-clip. That's called the rule of thumb. Because if I'm putting it, and this is for self-aid, for me, okay? If I'm putting it on me, I have the tail of the tourniquet pointed towards my center line. Same thing, if I'm holding it in my left hand, putting it on my right arm, I've still got the tail pointed towards my center line. So I can pull towards my center line. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the drill that we did was tourniquet left arm. So we're gonna do tourniquet left arm again, slowly as I talk you through it, okay? Thumb on the C-clip. Stick your arm through. Tourniquets go high and tight. Everybody got that? High and tight, just below the shoulder joint. There's a natural spot where your delts meets your bipod, or your bipod, sorry, I like shooting, your bicep. There's a natural groove right here. That's the tourniquet groove, okay? So, I've got it on, it goes high and tight. I'm going to pull this strap out and slide it down. Now, if you have a soft tee, you got to use the ratcheting motion. So ratchet down, go ahead, Kermode. There you go. I want the windlass in my workspace. Not pointed underneath, not on the back, right here where I can get at it. Tracking on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, good job. We're gonna pull this tight, and make sure that the loop is sticking to itself, and move the tail all the way around until it's right here behind the C-clip. Tracking?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everybody up? We're good? All right. You guys are quiet. Pretend we're in kindergarten, okay? We got cookies and juice after this, then we're gonna color rainbows. All right.
You got any crowns to eat? Maybe that will help.
No, I'm all out of crayons. I apologize. The Marines ate them all. Now, we're going to take the windlass. Remember, the tighter that we got this tail to begin with, the fewer turns we need on the windlass. For me, it'll probably be 3 turns. We're going to turn this. 1. Actually, for me, it's 2. Turn it. Go inside the C-clip. Windlass goes inside the C-clip. Tighter than you think it should be. Always tighter than you think it should be. It is one turn past bad words. Okay? Yeah. Hey, tourniquet's hurt. Can this thing damage you? No. What's worse, bleeding to death or a little bit of pain? Again, in Responder 3, we run with these things on our legs while shooting at each other for hours. And guess what? Here in a little bit, we're going to put one on our leg. And every one of you is going to be doing the Captain Morgan. Not putting your weight on the leg, because it hurts, Bear. Ow. Yeah, no shit. I know. Sorry, kids. All right. So now you take the tail. Pull the tail through the C-clip. Okay? No, not the same on the soft T. Soft T has fewer steps. You got it tight. You got the windlass turned. Windlass secured inside the C-clip. Now the trick with the soft T is to get the triangle retaining bar over the windlass. Okay. Now after the tail goes through, you take your time tab, go over the top. Everybody up?
You're putting your tail
Through the C-clip.
the windlass doesn't get in the way.
You gotta force it through there. You might have to give it a little wiggle. Excuse me, let me get in there. Yep, there you go. Like that.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
Gotcha. What'd you run
yep, there you go. Just, that'll work.
Okay.
That'll work. There you go. Right, because now,
Yep. Ain't going nowhere.
how many buildings you been in that have carpeted floors?
Quite a few.
And carpet will grab that,
Yeah, yeah.
and now you're done for.
Yeah.
We just drug you 50 yards to get you in the ambulance, and you're already dead by the time we get there. All right, is everybody up? We got them on? Okay, remember how to take a pulse? Take your pulse, not on your neck. By the way, you don't tourniquet the neck. I hate that I have to clarify, but we do not put tourniquets on necks. Unless it's that one special guy that you just, I don't know what happened, boss, he just didn't make it. Nobody should have a pulse, okay? Does anybody have a pulse? Tighter. Take the time tab off. No, does it hurt? Oh, it hurts?
Didn't hurt before.
Hold on, let me check you, because that feels very tight. Did you use your thumb?
Maybe it's I can feel the pulse in my fingers, maybe.
Dude, you're good.
Okay, good.
Okay. I don't want to hurt you.
I'm not on you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Now,
least
so
I'm
so here's the thing, right? If I'm putting this on myself or anybody else, we have these awesome things called eyeballs that the Father gave us. And they're for seeing things. I don't know if you know that, okay? But that's what we use these for. They're for seeing things. I should be able to visually see if the wound has stopped bleeding, okay? That's my first indication. There may not be anything here to take a pulse on. That happens more often than you think, and it's not just in combat. 4th of July, we've had 4 people, please, if you want to celebrate the nation's birthday, please don't drink and play with fireworks, please. There are 4 people who have blown their hands off or their arms off, whose lives have been saved with a bare fact. 4, okay? So, that's how you put a tourniquet on properly. Questions on that before we take them off?
No questions.
Come on. All right, so real quick tip, so you just need to macerate a minute. It's gonna be okay. Just soak it all in, all right? A really good drill, if you do any kind of shooting, controlled range, all the safety precautions in place, tourniquet your offhand, and go shoot your pistol. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna limp wrist it, you're gonna get a failure to extract and or a stovepipe that you now have to fix with your tourniqueted hand. Never thought about that one, did you? Yeah. And reloading all of a sudden, like I know my other mag is over here, and I'm holding on to it, but okay? Whatever you do at a range, do safely, but those are some good drills to do. If you are at the point where you can move while shooting with yourself or with your team, cool. Tourniquet one of your legs. I would recommend you do a couple of dress rehearsals before you go live fire with that, because you don't want to trip and fall and spray the guy next to you, okay? Because we all have mental assent to, I need a tourniquet. This is the first centimeter of the tip of the iceberg, okay? Do you guys understand why the essential responder is 2 days long now? Okay, because it takes 2 days to teach all of this in situ with crisis actors, role players, all of that. All right, go ahead and take your tourniquets off and restage them the way I showed you. Tracking? Thank you.
So how long can you keep it on for if we're like playing around with it?
Hours.
Really?
We have them on for hours in class. And here's the thing, your brain forgets they are there. For real. Because once we stress you out, an amazing thing happens when you're stressed. The first thing that happens is you're going to get tunnel vision. So instead of seeing all this, it's like looking through a straw, okay? Then you get auditory exclusion. I didn't hear the shots, I didn't hear the siren, I didn't hear the person calling for help. You get auditory exclusion. A lot of people, what they hear is a whooshing, which is their pulse in their ear. They hear whoosh, 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 whoosh. Your heart rate goes up. You begin to breathe more rapidly, so you're hyperoxygenating, so your eyesight gets more crisp, which is a shame because you can only see this much now because you're tunnel visioned, which is why all the tactical cool guys, when they shoot, they'll bang, 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 come back and then scan like this. Where that came from is I'm looking through 2 straws. So I'm forcing myself to not have tunnel vision now because I'm hyper-focused on the threat and I don't see the guy right here. That's why you scan, because under real stress, I can only see this. That's all I can see. It's worse than looking through nods. And then you lose all your fine motor skills, which is why you train, so you have automaticity, reps and sets. You don't have to think about what you're doing when you need to do it under stress. It just, there's the threat, go. It just happens. All right, restage your tourniquets. Okay, T. All right, good talk, everybody. I'm glad we did that.
Good job. So let's do it for yourself. Do it for yourself. One more time.
How you doing back there, Dud? Fabulous, tremendous, believe it. Guys, we've done 57 minutes on tourniquets thus far. We've done 2 tourniquet applications, 1 bad one, 1 good one. I was told that I had 2 hours with y'all. So we're gonna come back to tourniquets in a minute. What does a critical bleed look like?
Like a gushing lots of blood.
Volume of blood. Volume of blood. Because it could be spurting. That would be an indication that it's arterial. But it could be venous bleeding. You can bleed out from your veins. Volume of blood. Okay? And so arterial bleeding goes with the heart. Spurt, 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 spurt. It's outbound. Venous bleeding inbound is more consistent pressure, okay? When they take your blood pressure, right? That boof, 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 boof. That's what the artery is doing. That's the heart pushing blood through the arteries. On its return trip, it has much more consistent pressure. So venous bleeding will be basically a constant rate of blood pooling. Question for everybody here. These are jeans, skinny jeans, because my boy Bob's wearing off on me. How much blood can a pant leg hide? A liter. A liter. So if I'm over here laying on the ground and there's a pool of blood, yay big, and I'm going off of volume of blood, oh, it doesn't look that bad. There's only about that much blood on the ground. but there's a liter of blood inside of my pant leg. That's why every first aid kit should have a set of good shears. Hear that? I got a microphone on. Good shears. I'm a firm believer in modesty, but I'd rather be naked and alive than modest and dead. Okay? So we want to expose the wound to the best of our ability. For people that I know and love, I am 0% concerned about bloodborne pathogens and contamination. 0%. If something happened to Dudley right now, I'm not thinking gloves on, scene safe. I'm going to Dudley and I'm dealing with the problem. For people that I don't know, Good Samaritan stuff, which, by the way, Stop the Bleed is covered by the Good Samaritan Act, just like CPR and AED. So there's no personal liability on you to intervene using what you learned this morning to try and save somebody's life. Same as CPR and AED. Tracking? It's really important. So don't feel like I would have helped them, but no, go help them. The reason I'm teaching you this is because I want you to be equipped to help people. I don't know any of y'all. To be perfectly frank, I could care less what happens when you leave here. I want you to be better equipped when you go out in the world to potentially save somebody's life. Okay? And so under the banner of Good Samaritan Act, you can do that legally. You don't have to worry about intervening. Tracking? Somebody I don't know, we have these really cool things in 2023 called gloves. Expensive, but have you ever had hepatitis? So, again, this is not planned. I think we're all tracking on that. I did not plan to do this course this morning. I didn't plan for show to have gloves in the chest pocket of my flannel. I have gloves in the chest pocket of my flannel because I never know. I also, unplanned, because a picture says 1,000 words. Look, more gloves, okay? I don't know where my flannel's at. I would have helped that guy, but I couldn't find my flannel, so I guess he's dead. More gloves shoved into the bottom of this pocket. Get it? The basic rule of thumb is if it's wet and not yours, don't touch it, okay? Bodily fluids, blood, viscous fluid from the pleural spaces, whatever. Basic Torah, that stuff's icky. Don't touch it, okay?
In a pinch, I've stolen people's grocery bags.
Yep.
Wrapped my hands in grocery bags.
Exactly. And
It's a little less like dexterity, but it's better than nothing.
And to that point, if we're elevating to a higher level of care, which I would recommend you start working on somebody today in 2023, take your phone out, call 911, put it on speaker, throw it on the ground next to the person you're working on. They can hear you, okay? Now both of my hands are free while I'm working on the patient. By the way, most trauma medicine happens down here. It happens down here in the ground. So get comfortable working on the ground. That's why when we started building kits at Refuge, I hated that they were stuck to my body. I want it out where I can get at it, out where I can use it now. I need it here where I can see what I'm doing because the patient's here. Most people who are sick or bleeding fall over, right? Gentleman in the back said I felt lightheaded and you went down to one knee, right? Yep. Next progression from that is over, okay? So take your phone out, call 911, tell them what you're doing. I've got a male approximately 35 to 40 years old. I'm going to say he's 180 pounds. He appears to have a critical bleed to his left leg. It's arterial. I'm exposing the wound. I've applied, and dispatch's job is to write stuff down, okay? I've applied a tourniquet to the left leg, high and tight at, let's see, 10:03 a.m. local, blah, 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 blah. And now they know what to send you. Most people think 911, you know, they hear the dispatcher in the movie, 911, what's your emergency? That's not what they ask you. 911, where is your emergency? Where are we right now?
Does anyone know?
What's the address?
738.
Right. So from a prepper standpoint, situational awareness, oh, I'm going to this mountain readiness thing. It's over there in Harmony. How big is Harmony? How many ambulances do you think work this region? It's probably a county EMS. They might have 2 or 3 buses. 2 or 3.
This alone is 107 acres.
We're on 107 acres, right? So then you narrow it down from there. We're in the white tent that's by the bathrooms, a quarter mile from the entrance, across from the bus, right? And there's a guy wearing a cowboy hat standing out here waving. Okay? Make sense? Okay. Because if I put a tourniquet on you, we're going to move you to a higher level of care. So I should probably start higher level of care as soon as possible, right?
If there isn't a higher level care, you said 2 hours. If you wanted to try and take it off or pack a wound.
Tourniquet conversion
Yes, sir.
between the hours of 2 and 4 after time applied.
Okay, understood.
Another thing, is everybody good? Do we need to take a break, potty break? We're good?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
You're gonna take a potty break? Let's take 5. Okay, be back here at 10:10. Okay, T. All right, good talk, guys.